I'd like to say good morning, happy Sabbath. Sabbath blessings upon the entire house, the people of Isolale scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. I give glory and honor, praise to the Most High, Tata and Zombie, Yah Congo, the Most High Yah of creation. I give him praise, honor, and glory. It's been a very interesting week, if not the past several weeks, maybe even months. A lot of things happening. A lot of tension is being raised. And I think in some aspects you might view it as negative, but it is good. It is good because the Most High is sovereign in all that he does. And he is past finding out. He will do things that nobody expects to be done. When you think he is going left, he is going a complete and totally different way. He could go up, down, but he ain't going left. You think he's going right? He could go down, go up, but he's still Yah. You see a smile on my face? It is good. It is good. What's happening with Kanye West and what's his name? The basketball player. His name escapes me right now, but everybody knows who I'm talking about. So if y'all don't really know, this thing with the anti-Semitism, that phrase was created by the same people. The term anti-Semite or anti-Semitism terminology was created. You can go ahead. You can go ahead. That term was created by the same people. And the same people don't want their true identity revealed because they are a power. They are a world power. Not just a world power, they are the world power. They are the puppet masters in all of society. They are the puppet masters. Walking by this, preparing for a soccer game. Pee Wee League soccer game looks like. Anyway, it's a beautiful Sabbath morning. I got some things to share. Got 3 books that I want to give to you that you might be interested in looking into. Not really expensive, but this is something I experienced. So, I don't know if I ever shared this, but when I was probably like about 10 years old, if that, 10 years old, my father was a pastor. We went to church on the Sabbath day. We was raised in the commandments. So this is the thing. I'm the youngest out of 5. And we're getting ready to go to church Sabbath morning, and I'm outside by myself waiting on my dad to come. And I'm 10 years old now. I don't know how y'all mind work when you was 10 or however, somewhere in that age. But a thought comes to my mind, and it's more than a thought. In my mind, thought says that you are a natural born Jew. That's verbatim, exactly what came to my mind. I'm only 10 years old. What am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? In my mind, and it's like, it wasn't a thought. It was like a voice speaking to my mind. Not out loud, but it just in my mind. You are a natural born Jew. Now this is how clever the Most High is. See, this is why the Most High is so past finding out. Most people, I won't say most, some people know that the Bible was, the existing Bible that we have is not in its original form. Nowhere close. But what is written, I think some things that are written in there is true and relatable. So what I mean by that is the Bible is true to a certain degree. It's not to be thrown out because it is very, very valuable, right? Even in its present state, it's very valuable. It gives us laws and instruction, the expectations of the Most High, how He expects us to live. So, but it has been tampered with, the different books being rearranged, books taken out, concerning the New Testament. There's a lot of things that I don't really understand, but one of the things I learned, haven't had a chance to research, is that the writing it was crazy. The writings of Paul outdate the gospel. Now, how true that is, I don't know. How true that is, I don't know. I gotta rest for a minute. How true that is, I don't know. So anyway, been rewritten and rewritten and rewritten from its original language to what its existence is today, and even being translated into other language, foreign language, or not foreign language, but different languages across the earth. So you have terminologies like Jew and Hebrew, which, especially the word Jew, is a completely fabricated word. There's, in the history of the world, there's never been a people known as Jews. In the history of the world, in world history, there's never been a people like, you have different tribes of Africa that named like the Zulu, you know, Bantus, you know. So you get what I mean. So there's never been a people known as Jews in the history of the world. That was a fabricated word, and it was fabricated for the the same reason they don't want you to talk about um, who they are, what their positions are, and the power they wield, right? They don't want you talking about that. Especially they really don't care too much if you're what in society can be considered as a nobody, like myself, somebody that a whole lot of people really don't listen to. You don't have a large following, you don't have a large platform, and you're not a threat to them. But when you get in the entertainment industry and become well known, like Kanye West, uh, um, um, Kyrie Irving, Nick Cannon, these are well known actors, has been in movies, you know, uh, they have a they're they're always in the public view. So it's very easy for them, because they have a they're they're always in the public eye, that millions of people follow them. Especially especially if you're a black person in the world, and you're into, somewhat into black culture, and you try to support black people, and so you have a great following. That's when it becomes a problem. That's when it becomes a problem. That's when it becomes a problem. When you become well known, and you become very vocal. Not even vocal, like what Kyrie Irving did, supporting the video of Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. Now, I've had conversations, literal conversations, voice conversations with the author of these works. What's his name? Dang. Um, it'll come back to me. Ronald Dalton. See, I told you, Ron Dalton Jr. I've had verbal conversations with him before, um, and when it comes down to certain, this is how kind of like we as a people so much really need to come together, because how we are scattered in every place is the same aspect of how the differences there is between us as a people and different individuals. Like, um, I'm a very, and I'm glad I'm going this route. I'm a very simple individual. I am a craftsman. I'm not a computer expert, and for me to learn things uh, that are computer based, I have a steep learning curve. But you put like wood and metal in even a old car in front of me, I know what to do with that. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I wanted to let people know, that I'm trying to upgrade my platform, in where I can share my screen. You can see what I'm reading when I do my messages, so I can, even if I desire, even go live streaming. So I just want to put that out there. But it's going to take a minute for me to get all the workings of what it takes to do this. So anyway, back to Ron Dalton. So he's a very, very knowledgeable person. He has really not an extensive formal education, but he has education. And so how the Most High work is how when the your mentality, your personality, he works in you pertaining to those things. So Ron Dalton, he's an author. He used to he works, I don't know, still does, but he worked in the medical industry as a nurse's assistant or something like that. So he has knowledge of medical things. I really don't, have that knowledge. So he has a degree of expertise or a degree of interest pertaining to his mentality of doing certain research and being able to do computer work and working in the medical industry. I'm sure you had to work in the computer and stuff like that, So he's one individual that the Most High is using to wake up his people. I'm a very small cog in that wheel. It is what it is. And I thank the Most High that he uses me the way he used me. And I'm looking to him to raise me up even higher in my personal life and within me. That if it's his will, that he used me even in a greater manner that he used me now. So we as a people need to come together because there's so many parts to us. We have so many abilities that if we come together, there's no force on earth that would be able to stand against us, because look how we are as a people that's just scattered. That we're entertainers, and even as entertainers, you have other things going for you and other abilities that a lot of people don't know. Musicians, book authors, videographers. I mean, just whatever you can name, we do those things. Anything that would be valuable to build a prosperous society, we possess those talents and gifts. Even the ability to defend it if we had to against enemies. But we have people among us that look like us, but they are our enemy. And I will even go as far as saying they are the seed of Esau, because they work with those same people who don't want their identity to be exposed, who they really are. Revelations 2:9, Revelations 3:9 tell you who those people, exactly who those people are. So a couple of weeks ago, I started talking about how deception runs deep, and this is part of that. So I'm gonna give you 3 books, and all 3 of these books are written by I'll say Caucasian. I know 2 of them are Jewish or Ashkenazi. Their roots are European Jews. And that's where, so first one is the 13th tribe, the Khazar Empire. The Khazar Empire, Khazar, Khazar Empire, the 13th tribe. The 13th tribe, the Khazar Empire, and its heritage by Arthur Koestler, Koestler. That's one, and you probably already heard of that one. I don't know if you have or not. I'm not a big book reader. I'll see a book that I'm interested in, may pique my interest, and I'll start reading it, and then I'll lose interest, and then I'll start reading the Bible again. That's how it works for me. So you may be that type of person that loves reading books and, things of that nature. I'm really not too much of that guy. Oh, just looking at a wildlife sign. So the second one is The Jews of Khazaria by Kevin Allen Brooke. Now, I'm not sure. He doesn't have an S at the end of his name, so I don't know if he's related to Mel Brooks, the filmmaker. If he is, then he's definitely Ashkenazi. Then there is the Invention of the Jewish People by Shlomo Sand. The Invention of the Jewish People by Shlomo Sand. So these are just 3 books, and I'm sure there's plenty more, but this is something I learned. So they're European people, and they're writing books, and I've never read these books. This is a disclaimer, I never read these books. I've heard about them. I looked them up today just to make this video to share with other people that may be interested in doing their own research. Okay, so these are the books. Now here's the thing, something I learned years ago, that it may not be 100% true, but it bears paying attention to. I had a workmate years ago tell me, I'm a Mexican. Don't ever trust a Mexican. Now, for me, somebody tells me that, and it really kind of threw me back, because I had, at that stage in my life, I had a lot of Mexican friends. At least I thought I had a lot of Mexicans, but I had a lot of Mexican acquaintances. It's nothing, I'm not trying to speak against Mexican people. I'm just telling you a personal experience that I've had in relation to the video. So you have these 3 authors that if you look up, I'm sure you'll find a lot more authors that are basically, they're saying the same thing but in different manners, so different people can get a gauge on what they're trying to say. Anyway, so if you have several people from them, of that group, telling you X, Y, Z, and giving you information, and giving you historical data, historical information, it bears really paying attention to, and not be so quick to, it's like, that's not true. The Bible says all doubt is sin. So all unbelief is sin. All unbelief is sin. So there's different videos been made on like the the history of Hollywood. Now, anybody knows the history of Hollywood? Hollywood, the movie industry was started by three Ashkenazi German Jews. That's why if you ever heard I don't know if it's a rumor or you hear people say that these people have been kicked out of countries for centuries. That would make give sense to why they are in different countries. It's not because they were enslaved and scattered by the Most High. No, that's not historical accuracy. So if you look at the Bible, this is why it's so valuable to look at the Bible. You read the Bible, you study the Bible. I'm gonna say this again. Here I go. When you read the Torah, the first 5 books, and you see, and then you start going from different places in Scripture, like in the Book of Kings, Second Kings, um, the Book of Psalms, the Book of Proverbs, all these the prophets. You start seeing a picture being painted when you have it intent in your mind to, I want to find out if are we really the people. I want to find out if we are really the people. When you have that desire in your heart, the Most High is going to work with that. And He knows your personality, your mentality, what you can handle, what you can't handle. But if you really desire to know the truth, He will reveal it to you in His own way and in His own time. But you have to keep seeking. So anyway, these people, according to Scripture, is known as the synagogue of Satan. Now, this is some things you have to. It's things in life are very easily seen if you just stop letting life run you. Stop letting oh, I gotta go here, do this. Sometimes we gotta take our time, stop, and take a breath and look at things. And just like I'm doing today, coming to a very quiet place, and what your concerns are with what is it, whatever's in your mind. If you're concerned about what is going on, what Kyrie Irving posted the video of, or the link to a video or whatever it was that he posted on Twitter, and you really want to know what's all about, there's sources out there. Now, this is my thing. It's all good. It's all well and good. It's nothing against Ron Dalton. Very humble individual. Very knowledgeable. He knows what he knows. He really knows what he knows. And I'm not taking anything from him. But this is my thing. This is just, I view people that if you have the ability You have one skill set, and you're making money. You're supporting your family off that skill set. But you have another skill set, and they're able to create things like a movie or video, and um, put facts in the sources, and become a source for people to wake up to realize who they are as a people. I don't think you should be charging for that. That's just my thing. That's just me. That's just me. Make it where people can donate to you, but I think it needs to be more accessible to people that really can't afford whatever it costs. You know what I mean? Me and my wife rented it on Prime Video, on the little app you have on your TV, or on your phone. 11.99. I mean, for us that's no big deal, but for somebody else that is seeking and knowing the truth, and they hear about this, and they're trying to just barely making it enough to feed their family, that's a lot of money. That's that could be a chicken. That could be, you know what I'm saying? That's a pack of some type of meat. You know what I mean? To feed your family or whatever. So people that have these platforms and abilities need to make their information more accessible to your people. That's just me. That's just me. You know, that's just me. I think a lot more people would wake up if it was more accessible. Make it, make it where it can be downloaded for free for a month or whatever. You know what I mean? Some kind of way that it can be more accessible to people with lesser means. You know what I mean? You got to really think broadly about who's involved, right? You got to think really broadly who's involved, and look at what the Most High says about the poor and needy of our people, right? You got to look at those things. So anyway, so these people, these people that are in charge of Hollywood, they started Hollywood, and you see, you see, not only even Hollywood, not only even Hollywood. This thing goes back, like, I read the preface of one of the books, and which one was it? Oh, the Jews of Caesarea. That it goes back. These people go back to as far as back as the ninth century. Ninth century. They go back as far back as the ninth century. So you got to remember, in today's time, a century. That's it. A century is a century is 100. A century is 100, right? So the ninth century is kind of a little bit oxymoronic. So we're supposed to be in today's time, the 21st century. We're in 2022, right? So you have several thousand years of the buildup of these people. No, I heard, and this is funny. When I was in junior high school, we studied the Dark Ages, and it was on uh, Europe. Europe. It was called the Dark Ages, and it was on Europe, and how the different people groups were very um, vicious and without remorse, except for their own people, and even within their own people, they were very brutal. So you had the Vikings, you had the barbarians, and and one of the most famous barbarians was Attila the Hun. Now, Attila the Hun went all through Europe, conquering and ravaging and just 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 brutalizing. He's a barbarian. And somebody said, I can't remember who said it. I thought it in my mind several years back. I thought it in my mind. I was like, it's like something in my mind was making connection to from these people to Attila the Hun. And sometime after I thought it, I actually heard it. Somebody say they are more closer to Attila the Hun or related. They're more related to the Attila the Hun than they are the actual biblical Hebrews. Now that was just somebody stating that. I thought it. So the history of these people goes back thousands and thousands of years. So they have in a documentary I seen on YouTube, which is probably not there anymore, but you can check. So look up the um, the history or the documentary on Rothschilds. Rothschilds. The history or the documentary on the Rothschilds. It might be there, may not be there. I'll be surprised if it's still there. Or you can look up the history of Hollywood, right? How Hollywood got started, right? So, so um, when you start looking at these different things, how these people have infiltrated just about every facet of life. When they like you would be surprised how many Hollywood figures, white ones, that are like just like Nicolas Cage. I just pulled him out of here. I don't know if it's true or not, but people that know how to do research, they know how to get to people's backgrounds, who they really are. And a lot of these Hollywood figures are actually Ashkenazi Jews and have had their name changed so they won't appear to be Ashkenazi Jews. So it takes a lot of digging, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. They have to have their last names changed so people won't know that they're actually Ashkenazi Jews. So they so this is the thing. So when you fast forward to early early America, even before America was ever formed, they have infiltrated Yeah, remember, ninth century. This is ninth century. So I think that's before the Roman Empire. If I don't know my dates. I don't know, but I know infiltrated. They have infiltrated the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church. They have infiltrated the White House. They have infiltrated Parliament, which is English government. So just about in every area of life, they have infiltrated and set up things the way they want things to run. That's why the world is so in such a chaos. That's why there's war everywhere. The United States has never have had a 10-year period of peace in its entire existence. Never. There's never been a complete 10-year period of peace in United States history. So these people, they are a warlike people. That's all they know is war. So when you understand spirituality, that the Bible says that Satan or Hasatan or Hasatani, how you ever want to say it, is the prince and power of the air, the ruler of darkness of this world. He is the God of this world. That doesn't mean the Most High is not in power. The Most High in power. Satan can't do no more than the Most High let him do. And everything that Satan does, in some shape, form, or fashion, is for the benefit of the Most High's people and the glorification of Yah. So it really doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out these very simple paths and patterns in life. How these people come from a area of the world, Eastern, what is referred to as Eastern Europe, Khazars. In the preface, it said somewhere around the area of Russia and Ukraine. Interesting, right? Russia and Ukraine. So that's modern day. Back then, ninth century, those names didn't exist. So how can these people be the people when in no shape, form, or fashion do they match the description of the Most High's people in the book? They don't match in any shape, form, or fashion. They have Satan has guided them, because he's the God of this world, how to put every piece in place to hide themselves. Now, I will say this disclaimer, that most people of quote unquote Jewish origin, or Ashkenazi, or Sephardic, or whatever your historical heritage is, most of them are atheists, and those that do believe in the Most High, they don't have the same mentality of those that are in power. For the most part, they may be deceived thinking they are the people, but they don't have the same values as those that are in power, those that you see surrounding the president, right? You know, those that are behind. You ever seen the Wizard of Oz? The guy that's behind the curtain, and he's controlling the image on the screen, the wizard on, you know, the hologram. He's controlling the hologram, and he pulls. The dog pulled back the curtain, and there's a guy who had these controls, right? That's who these people are. The people in power, the people that are coming after Kanye, and they're coming after Kyrie Irving, and they came after Nick Cannon, and they even if you have a large platform on YouTube and you start stating these facts, right? They're coming after you. If you have a large platform in any shape, form, or fashion, on any public media, they're coming after you. They set up they set up laws to barricade themselves behind, to prevent people. So in one of the documentaries I read, or not read, but I saw, and they explain how they have infiltrated every facet of government in the particularly the United States in particular. So just real brief, the Rothschilds, that's not their original name, but the Rothschilds, the father, Baron, I think Baron Rothschild was his name, had a trade store or something like that, and on this is in Germany. This is in early Germany, where on like people have a sign on the door or on a banner. On his banner, it was a red hexagram. You know, you have, you know, the triangle up and the triangle down, and their interface on top of each other. Has nothing to do with the King David or Dawidi. Has nothing to do with King Dawidi. Has nothing to do with Solomon of the Bible. Has nothing to do with them. They try to, you know what they do. So anyway, they exchanged money. You know, gold was a standard basically in every country where you use gold to buy your goods and services, whatever. They figured out a way to gold is not the lightest thing. It's very heavy. Pure gold is very heavy, hard to carry around. So they figured out a way. He figured out a way to get people to give them their gold and give them what you would call IOU, a promissory note of IOU. So anytime you want your gold back, you just bring the IOU for whatever amount they put on there that you exchange the gold for. That's what your greenbacks in every currency in the world, every paper currency once had a gold value to it, that you could go to any bank or whatever financial institution and say, I want my gold back. That's why I can't remember. I think it was Nixon, but they took the United States off the gold standard because people started getting wise to this fact. So early on, Hollywood started. They set up these different protection groups to protect themselves or shield themselves from society. That, and this is like 1800s, 17, 1800s. The 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 fed that that makes the money, Reserve, the Federal Reserve, thank you. The Federal Reserve is not a government, it's not government owned. It's not owned by the United States government. It's a private entity. And Woodrow Wilson was responsible for the Federal Reserve becoming a private entity. He's responsible. So anytime you drive around your city, wherever you are, and you see a name of an individual, right? Do research on the individual. You'll be shocked, because that's how the United States rolls. They pump up, they glorify people that do wicked deeds, i.e., um, Christopher Columbus. That's just one. So anyway, they set up these different things. They uh, they put all these different things in place. So you have to understand that Satan is the god of this world, and he has gave instruction and has given power to individuals and groups of people, small group of people, and they worship Satan. Satan is their god. Satan is their ruler. Satan is their master. That's why United States is so wicked. England is so wicked. European governments are so wicked. They and in order for this to take place, now you got to understand this. When you look at in order for this to be successful, and for one group of people to be completely at the bottom, and another group of people should be completely at the top, in order for those people who are really the most highest people to always be at the bottom, it takes people either that are of them or that look like them, right? So not all Shemitic people were righteous. Not all Sham's descendants were righteous. Only I think the line that Eber came from. Anyway, when you look at the Exodus and how you had a group of people, a group of men, one of them Dathan and Korah, that they railed against Moses, and they fought against Moses, and they rebelled against Moses' rule. That has never ceased to happen. That's why in the book, one of the parables of the Most High, one of the parables of Isaiah. One of the parables of Isaiah, he talks about the wheat and the tares, how the sower goes out to plant wheat in the field, and when he go plant the wheat, when nobody was looking, said the enemy has done this, has planted tares. Tares are weeds that in the early stage of their growth, they look just like wheat. So once it says, so the people of the house asked the master of the house, shall we go and pull up the tares? He said, no, let them all grow together, and in harvest time we will separate. So once they get to full maturity and ready to harvest, they're distinguishable. You can see the difference between the wheat and the tares, right? But at the early stage, you can't tell the difference. So you will pull. That's within the parable. You will pull up the wheat with the tares if you do it too soon, right? So this is what the Most High is doing now. We as a people are starting to mature. We as a people are starting to mature, and we are starting to see who is us and who ain't us. This is what the Most High is doing. So in the parable, he says the wheat is the world. The wheat is the world. And the harvesters are the angels. So does this mean that the angels are going to come down? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're coming down and they're going to do this and going to do that. No, some things the Most High uses us to do. He uses us to do things, and he uses his spirit, his angels, to guide us and direct us to do those things if we are submitted unto him. So we as a people are starting to mature, and we're starting to see who we are and who they are and everything. Things are starting to become very clear of who we are as a people. We need to maintain our patience, which is vitally important, because time as we know it is not the Most High's time. Time has been distorted severely. So according to Gregorian time, or standard time, which the world goes by today, which was created by the Roman Catholic Church. See, these are things that you got to really look at. That the calendars that we go by, the majority calendar of the world goes by the Gregorian calendar. Even places in Africa, which in Africa right now it's what right in the middle of fall in the United States, right in the middle of fall, but in Africa it's starting to become summer. See, it's a complete change of time from one place to another, and most people don't realize that. So how can you go by one calendar? Chinese go by a different calendar, but all those calendars are based upon the sun. They're based upon the sun, but the Most High's time is, the Most High's time, I think, is lunar, solar. Lunar solar. I'll say it like that. That you can the phases of the moon indicate the decline and the decline, the beginning, and the phases of a month. The sun tells you the time of day, when the day starts and when the day ends. When the sun goes down, it starts a new day. When it goes down again, it starts a new day. So the rising and setting of the sun tells you the days of a week, the time of day. The phases of the moon tells you the month and the days of the month. When the month, from first day of the month, second day of the month, third day of the month, so on and so forth. There was never any There was never any names. They were just by number. So it's very, very intricate, the deception that we're under. And we as a people, this group over there, this group over here, this group over here, are starting to see clarity of who those people are and who we are. And that's what they're trying to stop. But you can hinder progress, but you can't stop progress. You can't stop the Most High. And everything that's happening is the Most High playbook. It's the Most High's playbook. It is the Most High's playbook. And we are all written in it in one shape, form, or fashion. So that's my little spiel on current events. You know, that's my little spiel on current events. I hope you will be edified by this. It ain't over. Kyrie Irving was just one. Just one. And I hope he maintains his intestinal fortitude. And I hope those that have large platforms and large means to help our people have the ability to write books and make them more accessible. If you really want your people to wake up, make your books make your products more accessible, so your people can have access to them. Because not everybody has a lot of money to buy books and stuff. They're just trying to feed their families. And times are getting harder and harder. Times are getting harder and harder. Prices are going up. Food prices are going up. Cost of living is constantly going up. People are struggling, whether you realize it or not. So if you write books and make videos and have a large following, make your products more accessible to people. So just like the poor man on the street that may have a phone, he can see your video, but they even have no money. You know what I mean? He's precious in the Most High's eyes. He's precious in the Most High's eyes. The Most High's values are not our values. The Most High's values are not our values. He values the poor, the downtrodden, the persecuted, the dregs of society that are from his people more than he does people of great stature and renown. He values people of low degree more than he does people of well renown. And we should do better. We should do better. The Bible calls it filthy lucre. It's not about, you know, I at one point I was like, yeah, I'm not having no YouTube channel. But now, Most High motivated me, I believe, to have a YouTube channel. And, you know, I don't have a large following, but it's all good. It's not about how many followers I got. It's about spreading truth and just getting the truth out there the best way you can. I don't, you know, if I had 100,000 subscribers, I wouldn't monetize my channel. I wouldn't. That goes against everything I was taught. That goes against everything I was taught. My father worked, had a pension, supported his family on what he did. He was a pastor. And the tithes that he received, he never spent not one dime of it for himself or his family. So I hope y'all understand what I'm saying. In order for us as a people to be swallowed up in the lie that we're not the people, that takes some serious doing. That takes some serious doing. There's always going to be rebels among us. People that's going against the Most High, that are of us. That's Bible. That's Bible. People that are natural Hebrews. People are naturally children of Isolde. Sold out to Satan. Sold out to Satan for a few shekels of gold or whatever, but the end will come along with their masters. So to Yah be the glory. I pray that you be blessed. Have a blessed Sabbath day. Have a blessed Sabbath day. Keep your head up, because what is happening in society, in the world, it is good. And in those dark, depressing hours, it is good. Just keep your head up. Seek to be positive. Seek to be positive. Seek to be positive. And eliminate the negative. Eliminate the negative from your life. There's positive energy and negative energy. There's things that come from love and things that come from hate. And we want all things that come from love. We want all things that come from love. And even because of the distortion of everything, sometimes we reject those things that are love because it's uncomfortable to us. Yeah, we do that. We reject sometimes the things that are from love because it's uncomfortable. But don't seek your own comfort. You gotta strive, and I'm trying to make mental adjustments to the person that I am, that I can be always positive, and it's not easy because I come from a very super negative background. Man, man, if people walked a mile in somebody else's shoes for a minute, fool, you would understand that person so much better. And we as a people, in some shape, form, or passion, we all come from a negative background. We all come from a negative background. Let us seek to be positive. Let us seek to be positive. Let us seek love, to be love, to emanate love. And love comes in many forms. But some of those forms we reject because it makes us uncomfortable. But doesn't make it no less love. Like chastisement. You know, when your father chastised you, your mother chastised you because you did something wrong, you get a whooping or something, that's uncomfortable. But that parent, if they love you, they're going to correct you. That's Bible. If you love your child, you correct them. You spank them. You punish them. You do what is necessary to make them stop doing that negative behavior. But when you're in an environment of you're hearing negative and you're viewing negative, it's really, really difficult when you get to adult age. It really takes the power and the spirit of the Most High to make you aware of self. That happened to me yesterday. There's a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot has happened that we don't know, and the Most High is starting to expose a lot of things. And when the Most High the Bible says, when he takes out his sword and he starts whetting that sword, that means sharpening his sword, it ain't going back in his sheath. Mercy, that means time for mercy is over. He's executing judgment. And once he starts executing judgment, that's it. So let us be in the place, the ark of safety. Let us be one of those 8. If you understand what I mean. One of the 8 souls saved. We are definitely in the last days. To Yah be the glory. May Yah bless thee and keep thee. May Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Shabbat shalom. Peace to the house of his soul.